everyone, welcome to Module 7. So this is pretty much, we just have 2 weeks left. This is it. The finish line is in sight. We have a major thing due this week though, so that's our final project. So you should be really focused on submitting that project this week to avoid a late penalty on this. So as far as Module 7, we're continuing looking into ecology, but this time we're going to focus a little bit more on community ecology with the idea of concepts such as keystone species and food webs and things like that. So things that can impact the community. Okay, so let's take a look at our module introduction. So by the end of this week, you will hopefully be submitting your final project, 400-point project, and that will complete that learning objective of writing a scientific paper. You should be able to describe examples of keystone species and discuss why they are important. So there'll be some examples given in the textbook as well as in the reading material this week. Compare the ways that interspecific interactions structure natural communities. So how patterns of human consumption fits into this picture. So how can us utilizing the resources, basically through habitat destruction and things like that, how that affects the entire ecosystem. And compare examples of efforts to restore natural communities that have been modified by us. So again, we're still continuing with community ecology, looking at how species interact with each other, but we're going to look at it from an ecosystem point of view. So we're looking at it including all of the resources in the environment. Okay, so what affects the different species in relation to those resources, whether it be water or shelter or land or things like that. So us humans, again, us utilizing those resources, taking them away, modifying them, how does that impact the rest of the community? Okay, so you're going to learn a little bit more about those impacts this week. So we will be diving into chapters 16 and 17 from our textbook. That means we do have a quiz this week. So even though you don't have a discussion board, you still have a quiz. And it'll be a 10-point quiz. So 5 questions from chapter 16 and 5 questions from chapter 17. We have two videos for you to watch in addition to the textbook. So How Wolves Change Rivers. So that's looking at trophic cascades, as well as conservation and restoration ecology, kind of an overall summary of it. So these 2 videos will go hand in hand with the textbook reading. So as far as your discussion board, it's completely optional this week, since we want you to focus on completing your final project and putting the final touches on it. So if you would like to write a post and post it for everybody, that is great. Okay, just realize that it's not graded. Okay, so of course I'll respond to it because I'm always curious what you guys come up with in regards to examples of restoration ecology. But this is just for your own knowledge and displaying it for your classmates. You won't actually be graded on it. So if you'd like to do that, you're going to kind of think of an example. So we have many examples, both large and small scales of efforts to restore natural communities that have been influenced by human activities. So something like prairie restoration in the Midwest, removal of dams to restore natural flows to river systems, restoration or reintroduction of keystone species. Those are examples of restoration ecology projects that have been introduced and implemented. And so you would just choose one of those and kind of share it, okay? So for example, here in the Pacific Northwest where I live, dam removal is something that has been tried and done and been successful in some regards throughout the Pacific Northwest. So removing dams that no longer serve a purpose, but by removing them, they restore natural water flow through the ecosystem, which is particularly important for salmon. So here in the Pacific Northwest, salmon is king. And so by removing these dams, it restores those natural salmon runs and things like that. So so that would be an example of a restoration project. So choosing one of these dam removal projects and talking about it. But there's a number of different restoration projects that have taken place. I know when I worked as an assistant biologist for an environmental consulting firm way back when, we were part of a number of restoration projects. So, and it could just be a small little area. So taking an area that has been developed by humans but needs to be restored. Okay, so the process that it takes a long time to, particularly in the ones that we were working on, it was more wetland restoration projects. So trying to make sure that the filtration is there and that the proper native plants have been planted and things like that so that it can be successful. So there's a number of different examples, and if you wish to share one, feel free. We'd love to, or at least I would, love to learn more about them. And then you have your Topic 7 quiz, or your Module 7 quiz. So this again covers Chapter 16 and 17 from your textbook. If you don't get 100% the first time, take it again. Okay. And then finally, the big one, the final project. Okay, so you've been preparing for this the entire term. You've had feedback from your Milestone 1, which was the introduction and method sections, as well as your title. You've received feedback on the graph, which went into Milestone 3, which was the results discussion sections, literature cited, and overall writing. So now you just have to put it all together. So if I try to give as extensive feedback as possible for areas that needed improvement, if you needed improvement. So please pay close attention to my feedback and try to incorporate it into this final project. If you're confused about my feedback, if you don't understand what I meant, please email me. Okay, I want you to be successful in this project and do a great job. And sorry, I have a cat that's coming in and out of frame, but yeah. So just make sure that you are, trying to incorporate all of that feedback so that you do an exceptional job on your 400-point final project. Don't forget to take a look at the guidelines and rubric. Also, the other information that you will need for that final project submission is located under assignment information. Okay, so if you need a copy of the Belize map, if you can't remember, specific information about the Odea et al. Article and you need access to it, you can look under Milestone 1 guidelines. It's there. If you, need copies of the vegetation pie charts, there they are. Okay, so all of that information is located in assignment information module, as well as in module 2, 4, and 6, where we actually completed those parts. Okay, so once you are ready, submit that that project, and hopefully, I love giving 400 out of 400 points, A pluses. So I hope yours is up to that level, and feel free to reach out if you have any questions. I really want you to succeed. And now that Neville, my cat, has decided to perch himself in front of the camera, I will sign off, and good luck everybody on this final project submission week.